We have to turn everything on? Oh, here we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the monthly meeting of the Dayton Board of Health for Wednesday, November 16, 2016. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Approval of the minutes.
Chairman Goulart, I move that we approve the minutes of the regular meeting of October 19th, 2016.
I second that.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next item is correspondence. We received another update on the Zika virus. This is the biweekly update dated November the 14th from the Mass Department of Public Health. I'm not going to read this whole thing. It's several pages long, but I will make mention of a significant update. Clinical trials on 2 different types of Zika virus vaccines have begun by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and the Department of Defense. If these initial trials are successful, additional clinical trials are expected to be conducted in areas with significant Zika virus activity. At this time, widespread public availability would not be anticipated for 2 to 3 years. Mass Department of Public Health continues to have a 24/7 epidemiology line for any questions related to the Zika virus and Zika virus testing requests. The phone number for that line is 617-983-6800. Again, that's 617-983-6800. So if you have traveled to that area of Florida or the Caribbean or are thinking about going there and you have questions, please give that hotline a call. As I said, this is a lengthy a report. If anyone has any questions or would like to look at this report will be available in the Board of Health office downstairs.
Teleflex.
Okay. The next correspondence is regarding a recall from Teleflex Medical. This was issued by the Mass Department of Public Health, and it's notifying its public health partners and the general public about a voluntary national recall by Teleflex Medical. The recall involves atomizer tips included in multi-step naloxone rescue kits that are used to reverse the effects of an opioid overdose. DPH is monitoring this recall closely and will provide our partners and the public with more information when it becomes available. This product recall does not involve the drug naloxone, but the delivery system, atomizer tip, of a multi-step product that is widely used nationally. There's supposed to be a picture here. I don't see any picture. Anyhow. The Department of Public Health Office of Emergency Medical Services has shared this recall notice with emergency medical service providers statewide. The DPH Office of Emergency Medical Services updated statewide protocols to provide the latest medical direction to help emergency responders administer a new single-step product that is not subject to this recall. This new product also includes a higher dose of naloxone to help reverse stronger overdoses that require more medication to counteract, such as those involving fentanyl. Entities who would like to know more information should call the vendor or distributor from which they purchase their naloxone rescue kits. So again, if anyone's interested, there's some additional information here. It is not the drug, it is the method of delivery, which they're describing as an atomizer tip that is being recalled. The next advisory, these are all long. Is regarding the historic drought conditions that continue throughout the Commonwealth, Cape and Islands, which has been downgraded now to a drought advisory. This was dated November the 10th, so it's probably further downgraded after the rain we got yesterday. Monitoring of water resources continue. Water conservation by the public is still necessary. And I will just briefly read one paragraph. While portions of Massachusetts have experienced measurable amounts of rainfall in the past month, large portions of the state continue to experience rainfall amounts remaining below average. As a result, Energy and Environmental Affairs Secretary Matthew Beaton today declared the following drought levels throughout the Commonwealth. A drought warning for the Connecticut River Valley, western, central, northeast, and southeast Massachusetts. Unchanged for the Connecticut River Valley, central, northeast, and southeast regions, and up from a drought watch for the western region in October, and a drought advisory for the Cape and Islands, down from a drought watch in October. The declaration was the result of a recommendation issued from a recent meeting of the Drought Management Task Force, comprised of state, federal, and local officials, and will remain in effect until water levels return to normal in the affected regions. I know that in certain parts of the state, they are not only monitoring public water supplies, they are also monitoring water from private wells. And I think they're doing this by being able to monitor the aquifer that feeds the wells. So even though we've had a lot of rain, we are still expected to conserve, and fortunately with the winter coming, we won't be using water outside. There's one other letter there from Inspector Aguirre. Excuse me. This letter is from James D. Aguirre, Jr., Building Commissioner. Honorable board members, please allow this letter to serve as adequate correspondence in my absence this evening. The owners of 1571 William Street have a valid building permit to construct both an addition to the existing single-family home and a freestanding garage. Upon submittal of the foundation as-built as required by my office, it was discovered that the freestanding garage was built within the 15-foot sideline setback requirement set by our zoning bylaws. After discovering the discrepancy, the contractor of record contacted me directly to apologize for the oversight and proposed a repair that involved cutting the foundation. I was quick to respond that cutting the foundation was to be considered a last resort mediation method and would prefer the matter be brought to the Board of Appeals. I would further extend to the board and this contractor that this contractor is of extremely high standard, and I have shared in a harmonious relationship since permitting and inspecting his work in town. It appears that this truly was a non-malicious mistake and would ask the board to consider zoning relief in lieu of modifying this new foundation. So I don't know how long the zoning meeting will last, but that's where Inspector Aguirre is tonight. Any other correspondence or anything? We don't have any announcements. Anything that will be announced will be done at the selectmen's meeting that will follow this one. Old business, smoking on public property. I had reported at a previous meeting that we had received a letter concerning employees smoking behind Town Hall, in or about the, not in, but near the entrance to the lower level. As a result of that, I checked with Mr. Bernardo, our health inspector, and I also went online. The state does not have a requirement regarding the number of feet an individual has to be from a public building. The smoke can't enter the building, but there isn't a specific requirement. Marilyn Edge, our tobacco enforcement officer, was contacted, and she sent some material. When I was at the Board of Health training session a couple of Saturdays ago, I talked to an attorney from the Department of Public Health and told her that we would be looking into some kind of rule or regulation regarding this, and she also offered her help. So with concurrence from my colleagues on the board, I would like a little more time to get back to that attorney and see what she would provide. There is no cost to us for this advice from her. As she said, I don't make legal decisions, and I don't give per se legal advice, but I can certainly tell you what's out there and help you put together a policy. So this will be a future agenda item when I hear from her. So I'm going to put it down for the next meeting because I expect to get back. Hazardous Waste Collection Day. Do you know who that is?
Oh, that's somebody that, remember we were having people call in with their preference for when they might want to have it, so evidently this gentleman called in.
We received one piece of correspondence. We've been announcing that we're going to have a hazardous waste day, and we asked the residents to please let us know if they wanted it in the summer, spring, or fall. Well, fall's almost gone. We won't be doing it during the winter. So, actually, this fiscal year, summer is gone too. So we'll schedule it in the spring. We'll announce in advance when it will be. But we've already missed 2 seasons. We don't do it in the winter anyhow. So the earliest this would be next spring. So we will get a date scheduled and announce it a number of times. The next item is the drive-through emergency dispensing site. We have received correspondence from the Southeast Emergency Preparedness Coordinator from the Mass Department of Public Health, Office of Preparedness and Emergency Management. They are in the process of setting up emergency dispensing sites should the need arise to distribute vaccine or other medicine in case of any kind of emergency that may come up. We will be getting more information on designated sites in the town of Dayton. The purpose of these, excuse me, emergency dispensing sites is that if there is a particular location where a number of vaccines could be administered by properly trained medical personnel, for example, a nursing home, rather than having somebody from our, if you will, health team go to that site, somebody from that site could come to a central location and pick up enough medication so that the residents of that facility could be vaccinated against whatever the particular medical threat was. So there will be more information coming down the pike on this. We don't have it all down. I know we were doing an inventory of places where there are groups of people living. For example, Lincoln Village would be one. And if there had to be an immunization program, somebody could pick up sufficient doses of medication and take it to the site and have a trained medical person at the village to take care of the people that reside there. A nursing home would be another. We have group homes in town, and we might be able to combine those so that all group homes could be taken care of. We have the novitiate on Elm Street, where there are a number of people living in one particular area. So this will just give you a little idea of what, if you will, the emergency preparedness program consists of. And vaccines is just one of them, but this happens to be what this notice is about. And every month or so when we have the meetings to discuss preparedness, we get more information on how this program will work. So that's pretty much a public information thing for everybody. Hopefully the need will never arise. Under new business, review, discuss, and act on collection bin permit applications. For those of you who were at town meeting, the town passed a bylaw that has established rules and regulations under a general bylaw, Article number 35, regulation of donation collection bins. And Mr. Cronin, if you would like to just look at that. That's a draft of the proposed permit, and attached to that is the bylaw. That was given to Jim Aguirre to review also. That's one of the samples we had, did have the building commissioner involved.
Mm-hmm. Appears to have all the information we really need. We've always had the problem in the past of locating the go-to person for some of these bins, you know, when they get out of hand, they get a little messy, overflowing, and accepting goods that the bin wasn't intended for. So this will clarify and more or less document whose bin is out there and exactly what articles or materials will go into them. These applications will be available. I don't know if the building inspector's going to handle them or Board of Health or...
We're still collecting locations and names
Okay.
of bins. And I think initially there'll be a letter go out from the Board of Health with a copy of the bylaw, with an application. The permit fee for this was established at $150 a year. We're hoping to get this out so the term of the permit would be January 1 to December 31. And probably after the initial contact, when they come up for renewal, or if any seem to miraculously appear in town without our knowledge, we'll have some follow-up. But then I think we'll turn it over to building commissioner.
Okay. Well, it appears this is all ready to go. It's a little packet that's put together. You have the application, which is more or less self-explanatory, and a copy of the town Dayton bylaw, which contains all the do's and don'ts, requirements, documentation, and all the information that anyone who is interested in putting one of their company bins out there, whether it's for books, clothing, or what have you. I would say applications are ready to go if you're ready and willing.
And if you're not willing, we'll send one to you anyhow.
That's a good application. Very good.
That was one of the sample ones you found online.
Good.
I will say that the bylaw is all-inclusive. It even talks about where it can be located on property, and other than Board of Health regulations, I mean, this was the case of a well-intentioned project that turned into a dumpster, a trash dumpster.
Yep.
By people who choose not to dispose of their trash properly, and it's a hit and run. You just throw it and run. And the bins usually state what it is you can recycle: clothing, shoes, and you'll see everything there from household goods to broken toys to, it's just worthless junk that these organizations have to pick up. The next item. Review, discuss, act, appoint each Board of Health member, health agent to the town. This came about, again, based on the recommendation of the attorney that I spoke to at the Board of Health training. There are rare occasions when a member of the Board of Health, meaning us at this point in time, might find ourselves in a situation where there is a clear violation of health code, and we are unable to get one of our inspectors to come to that location. And it's a situation where there has to be action taken. Under the law, because the Board of Selectmen in this town currently serve as the Board of Health, we could actually take action. For example, if we were to go to a site where, let's say someone was having a chicken barbecue, and when we got there, the chicken was out, not refrigerated, covered in flies, open to the air, dirty, disgusting. As a member of the Board of Health, we could order that meat destroyed. The recommendation of the attorney from the Mass Association of Boards of Health was that in addition to your statutory qualifications, duties, it would be wise to have your board appoint each of you agents to the Board of Health, because there was, needless to say, a legal case where somebody had some gross health violations and a member of the Board of Health ordered them to destroy or dispose of certain foodstuffs. And they appealed that decision. The foodstuffs were destroyed, gotten rid of. But they appealed it in court. And the court stood behind the Board of Health. But her recommendation was there's no harm in appointing each member of the Board of Health itself as agents to the board. It's a rare occasion, but if it ever happens, we will act as an agent of the Board of Health, just like our inspectors do. So I will entertain a motion to appoint Dean Cronin, Brett Zagrafis, and Nancy Goulart, agents to the Board of Health.
So moved.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We have no inspectors' reports this evening, and we have no public. So I guess the next, does any member of the board have anything they wish to add?
I don't think so.
Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye?
Opposed? Meeting's adjourned at, how about that, 1 minute of 7? We'll see you in a little bit, folks, for the Board of Selectmen meeting.